Alright, so it should be like live. Yes,
Yeah.
alright, seeing it now. Alright, yeah. So
I still can't believe Big Guy Bill's alive.
I can't believe Big Guy Bill actually made it. I'm
Crazy.
glad Big Guy Bill is still around.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he did just get, like, killed off back there. They really did save this man. Got Big Guy Bill and, like, a bunch of people who we have, like, no idea about whatsoever.
Well, we've seen the fat guy on the left. We've seen the dude in the middle behind Hal.
Yeah, we know that Ocho can, like, tell the future.
Yeah, the tiny little one is Ocho.
Yeah, apparently she's, like, a little girl, which, like, makes a lot of sense, yeah.
That makes the scene that precedes this a little more uncomfortable.
Yeah, because, like, there's a scene where, like, Hal's just in the hot spring and Ocho's just sort of floating there, but, like, you can tell she's kind of blushing.
And then Hal just stands up out of the water. No towel or
the
anything.
anime villain thing.
Yeah.
It's literally like Hisoka just staring out over the city. Oh, man. So yeah, this was an episode.
It sure was.
So, like, I feel like big crutch to this episode is that it's like, Rin, to, like, skip over a lot of stuff, it's like, first, like, we're like, oh yeah, Yo is, like, concerned about finding his brother and stuff, and everyone's like, like, oh man, Hal's so strong, how can we beat him and everything? Yo's like, we'll figure something out,
Yeah, except we won't, because Yo's going to win.
Yeah.
Or, Hal's gonna win, is what I meant.
Yeah, and, like, Rin literally looks at Yo, and he's like, oh, I guess he's Hal's other half, huh? And boy, is that, like, so here's the thing, right? This series has kind of shied away from power levels a lot, right?
Yeah, until now.
Yeah, it's just straight up like, oh hey, here's some numbers. So, like, here's what I did, right? Because I'd, like, talk about this a little bit before the stream. They're like, oh, hey, here's some numbers. And I'm like, okay, awesome. When are other times in this show where we've got numbers? And I went back to those points and I wrote those numbers down.
Oh, boy.
And, like, just looking at the actual numbers, like, it is, like, hysterically, like, one-sided. Like, holy shit.
Well, even with the comparison of just Yo versus Hal, it's like Yo is just like, yeah, I've got like 10,000. Hal was going to get about a 1 million some odd number. It's
so Hal's like, basically it's how power works is you have your, like, your Fuyoku or your mana or whatever. It's like, apparently it's like a weird translation thing, whether it's mana or Furyoku.
I'm just gonna call it mana.
Yeah, mana's way easier. Like, I feel like I prefer Furyoku because it's a bit more distinct, but mana makes way more sense, especially because it's like, an international tournament and everything, so it's like, yeah, whatever, yeah.
It's also easier to say.
Yeah. Point is that it's like, we established some rules early on, and it's like, okay, yeah, like, you're born with a some amount of mana, and it just sort of, like, it doesn't really go up unless you go through, like, like, super specific, intense, like, life and death training, right?
Yeah. Kind of like Yo's dad.
Yeah. So it's like, like, essentially from that, you can kind of, like, assume that, like, like, any numbers we see early on is, like, pretty much about where they'll stay.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like that's fairly logical. So it's like, Hal's mana is, like, it's revealed to be, like, 1,250,000.
Yeah.
So that what that literally means in, like, the context of the series, it's like, it's not like Dragon Ball, right? Like, it's not like, like, if Hal was just standing there, you could, like, swing a sword at his face and it would bounce off. What specifically refers to is, like, that's the context for how powerful he can, like, make his Oversoul in one go, and, like, how many times you have to, like, break it before he can't, like, summon it again, basically. So it's like, you look at his flying style where he's just like, he's just like making his spirit teleport all over the place, and it's like, okay, yeah, no, this makes way more sense now. Because, like, the Spirit of Fire itself is probably, like, what, like, 100,000, like, 200,000, something like that. And, like, every time he just, like, basically de-summons it and, like, summons it again. Which is, like, still nuts, but it's like, it's not literally like, like, the entire, like, weight of this number is behind, like, every attack, right?
Sure.
Yeah, like, that's what seems to be the case, at least, for now, if nothing else. Like, we don't really know if, like, it gets, like, harder for him the, like, more souls the Spirit Eats or whatever the heck, but, like, it's like, that's a fair general assumption, I think. And we also learned that it's like, alright, Yo's current power is something like 10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, first bit of context is it's like, okay, yeah, so basically, like, Yo is, like, something like, 1,000 times less powerful than Hao, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, alright, like, maybe he could, like, if he really tries, maybe he could defeat the Spirit of Fire once, and then it would just reform and wreck him, Like, that's essentially what we're kind of dealing with.
Yeah, and that's a real problem.
Yeah, it's a huge, huge problem. So, like, do you remember when the last time we saw numbers was?
Nope. I just haven't really been paying that much attention to it.
Yeah, because, like, a couple episodes ago, like, if you remember, like, Hal fought the X-Laws, he, like, fought a group of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, the first thing they do is they summon their spirits, and Hal just looks at their numbers, and he's
Right.
like, oh, so pathetic, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was something like, like 9,700, like 9,800 or something. And you have, like, yeah.
So they're close to Yo's power level.
Yeah, they actually weren't that far off. Like, specifically the missile guy's power was something like 10,500.
Huh.
So yeah, Missile Dude who blew himself off was technically, like, more powerful than Yo, as far as we're aware.
As far as raw numbers are concerned.
Yeah, as far as raw numbers. Like, of course, like, this series is, like, weird and how, like, skills power and stuff, so, like,
With the shonen anime.
yeah, because there's a lot that goes into, like, like, oh, if you're more determined, you get, like, stronger, and there's, like, techniques and, like, skills and stuff, and, like, basically it's like, I feel like Yo could probably beat that dude with, like, Spirit of Sword and stuff, but, like, yeah, the fact that he's, like, so high up there is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Like, it at least implies that if it came down to it, Marco would probably be, like, on Yo's level. Like, honestly.
Yeah, Marco is aside from Gene, he's probably the strongest X-Law. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. It also means that, like, boy, Jean would probably be an uphill fight if she's, like, in charge of these guys, because I'd have to imagine she's, like, higher up than that.
Yeah, considering the method she goes through for her powers, I would assume she has to be stupid powerful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So here's the point where it gets hilarious and weirdly relevant to this episode.
Okay.
So do you remember when we saw numbers before that fight?
I don't know, back during the test?
Yeah, like, way back. After Yo already went through his big training to get stronger and stuff. There's a fight with Rin, remember?
Uh,
Yeah, like way back in like the first like preliminaries of the tournament. There's a
yeah,
big
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The fight where Yo beats him.
Yeah. Like if I remember right, they tie, right? Because
Right.
it's like, yeah, Yo wins, but there's like Oversoul just kind of like goes out, so they kind of like ran out at the same time.
Yeah, but Yo won.
Yeah, oh
Because
yeah, straight up, yeah.
his went out second.
Yeah. It's too close. How will we ever determine the outcome?
Yeah, so anyways.
But yeah. So back then, and this is so hilarious, because it's like back then, like at that point of the series, Yo's like power level, his like mana level was 270.
Wow.
And they make a very specific note that like his Oversoul, which is like, the version 2 Oversoul, I'm pretty sure it's still the version he's like using right now. Just use like 30 mana.
Okay, so we've spiked the numbers like crazy.
Oh yeah, the numbers have spiked to like an absurd degree. And Rin, who presumably hasn't gone like that much stronger since that point, because we haven't seen him go through any like crazy training arc or anything. Yeah. Rin's number was at like 350, and that was the big oh shit, it's so big number. Rin could like fight Yo right now as is, and he could like throw literally everything he has at him, and it would probably do nothing.
Well, just because we didn't see him training doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's as strong as Yo right now. Definitely not. But
yeah, like maybe up to like, I'd imagine like around like 500 or so, but it's like it would be nowhere near this boost.
Surely he's around 5,000 at least.
I have no idea, because here's the thing, because like I would have to imagine, because we didn't see Yo do anything else, that most of this like 9,730 point boost.
True.
That like most of this was from like, Anna getting the book to Yo. And just being like, hey, here's the like, Shoujo Shinji, whatever the crap.
Yeah.
And Yo's like, oh, cool.
Yeah, power levels are stupid.
Yeah. So power levels are stupid. It was kind of like essential for everyone to get new Oversouls, because holy crap, we've like escalated into oblivion. And also like when like Yo's dad shows up and he's like, hey Rin, I want to teach you the special book. Rin should have really just taken the offer and learned that book.
Yeah, but what's his name? Miki, yeah, whatever his name is.
Mikihisa, I think is, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's pronounced like Mikisa or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like he says, it's like it's about you. It's about what's his name? Ren's pride.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and he's like, I'm not gonna. It's like near the end of the episode, but it's like he's holding Ren against like a wall, and he's like, I'm not giving you a chance to hit me. Like I'm not gonna slip up and let you hit me. Yeah. And like we can keep going, but like if your pride is gonna get you killed, then I don't need, like, you're worthless to me anyways.
Yeah, I don't want to train any stupid kids who are just gonna like act like brats.
Yeah, and like this image shows, it's like there's a scene earlier where it's like, let us train Ren with the power up thing.
Yeah, let's boost Ren's number by something like 5,000.
Yeah, and Tao In is like, no, I trained him. He's the ultimate culmination of the Tao family for some thousands of years. Fight me. And then we cut to this flashback later.
Yeah.
And it's like, I am so happy that Mikisa is this strong.
Yeah. Like Mikisa and like Yo's mom, it's like both of Yo's parents basically. It's like they just walk up and they're like, hey, like, yo, Rin's family, we can literally just make your son 20 times stronger, like, overnight. And they're like, but how do we know though? And he's like, alright, your call.
Alright. Puts in through.
Yeah, like he really brutalizes him, like, holy crap.
And part of it's just like I don't like the Tell family. I'm just glad to see me wreck him. Speaking and like, so a lot of this episode is a fight because it usually is. But
Man,
there are scenes where it's like remember we're fortune tellers, or like we get as shamans we can see the future and crap, and we've seen the future and Hal wins the tournament.
Yeah, just straight up. Even the Great Spirit can't see the future.
And then like and then Yo is like, oh yeah, his power's stupid crazy. Hal's gonna win this tournament.
Yeah, everyone's just like, how do we even?
Yeah, everybody is like, Hal's gonna win. Like, and like Manta's like, I don't know, couldn't everybody team up and take him on at once? And Yo's like, I think you just eat everybody one by one and kill us all.
Yeah. Yo's like, even if that did work, we'd sacrifice so many effing people, dude.
So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this, where it's just like the villain is like all the heroes and everyone is just like, yeah, he's gonna win. We can't beat him.
Yeah. Just, it's like, you have the villain who's like, oh, they're like, so over everyone that it's like, they're unstoppable. But you like break it down for just a second, and it's like, oh, they can like just attack you from anywhere, and their power is also higher than anyone else's. And also they can just like change their element to deal with like any weakness they might have that you could exploit or whatever. And there might also be even more things they can do we don't know about.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Man.
But so I don't know how to feel about it, because it's like, oh, we can't beat him, except when Yo fights him eventually and he like pulls out the power of friendship and beats him.
Like, at this point, like, you think that might not even happen?
I mean, the show, like kind of subverts your expectations in a lot of ways.
It's like, because Yo's very specifically like, yeah, like, even if we just try our best, it's not gonna, like, make up that much difference.
Yeah, but it's also anime.
Oh, yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if trying their best works.
Man, I feel like one of my favorite things about, like, just looking through this, like, just absurd power scaling is that you just flash back to the big fight with Tao and it's like, okay, like, how strong was Rin at around that time? Well, he was probably still around 350. It's like, oh.
Crap. That means End was nothing.
Yeah. It was a pushover.
Now that I think about it, it's like Mikasa like got him in like pounded into a wall here, and it's obvious that it's like, oh yeah, he's so strong. But yeah, back when he was like, when N was the biggest threat, he was nothing.
Yeah.
This show is crazy.
Like, Grant, he was faltering and stuff. It was like, oh, I can't, like, fight my son or whatever, and that held him back, but still, like...
This is like, N is like Kid Goku versus Mikisa, who's Super Saiyan Goku.
Yeah. It's like you look at, like, effing, like... Well, like, Beerus just drops by and just shows up.
No, Beerus is How.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, fair enough. It's like...
In this situation, Beerus is How.
Yeah, like, seriously, Goku just drops by, and, like, he just looks over at, like, the Ox King, and the Ox King is like, hey, no, fight me to show how strong you are.
I'm the king of the mountain. Like,
just like, holy crap. But yeah, I have to imagine that, like, Yo's dad is probably somewhere pretty far up there as well.
he seemingly, like, Ren can't even touch him.
Yeah.
Which, getting to that part of the episode is Mikisa shows up and he's like, hey, I could teach you the superpower. And they're like, no, I don't. And Ren's like, no, I don't want the superpower. And then Mikisa proceeds to beat him up for most of this episode.
Yeah, that's the episode. It's like, it's this big fight scene where Ren's, like, showing off his cool new ability, and Mikisa's like, oh, alright. Well,
that's cute.
Yeah. Have you, like, seen what my crazy fox spirit and Tanuki can do? But yeah, Ren gets a new Oversoul.
Yeah, which is spoiled in, like, the mid-episode, like, intermission thing.
Yeah, so question, like, how do you feel about this one?
It looks really stupid.
It looks so weird. It's so, like, it looks really dumb, but what it does is so cool.
Yeah. For what I get is it turns into, like, a bunch of different types of weapons.
Yeah. Yeah, basically it's like Ren just has this little, like, folding sword he brings out, which is, like, a treasure of, like, the Tao family and stuff. And he just, like, just shoves Bassan it, and because, like, Bassan's, like, a master general who's fought, like, countless opponents with different weapons and stuff, he can basically summon, like, all different kinds of, like, swords and, like, armaments from his previous battles, and just use them, like, however, right?
Yeah. But it's not that the idea is stupid, it's the design is stupid. It's too busy.
Yeah,
there's like, way too much going on here.
Yeah, like, it's like, this is like the resting form, but then, like, shapeshifts into, like, a bunch of different, like, things, and it's like, it turns back into the sword, like, has a bunch of, like, blades appear out of nowhere, and has a bunch of, like, spears stabbing through the ground and stuff, It's, like, cool idea, but it's, like, really weird execution for the actual design, yeah. Because I get the idea that it's like, oh, it's just meant to be, like, all these different types of weapons fused together in, like, a bow shape, I assume. So maybe you can, like, shoot arrows at something.
Either that or the way it's stylized. It's not, maybe it's not supposed to be bent like that. It's just the perspective or something.
Maybe. It's very odd. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. For most of the fight, Mikisa's just fighting with, like, clones.
Yeah, like, seemingly, like, it's not explained, but seemingly he's just, like, throwing rocks at the ground and just using them as, like, like, intermediaries to just form little, like, Shao clones with his, like, fox and stuff. And because they're, like, oversouls, they just don't have shadows, which is something he points out, which is a neat detail.
Yeah,
like, that does make sense.
Yeah, there's a scene where he's like, my oversoul has you surrounded, and Ren is like, am I surrounded or are they in my range? And he pulls out his weapon and, like, stabs them. And then he's like confidently like, now that your oversoul is, and then he looks up at Mikisa standing next to his oversoul, and he's like, now that my oversoul's white. He's like Ren got rid of them, he just resummoned them, no issue. He's like, whatever.
Yeah. I imagine they're probably like super low cost, like, bullcrap, just to like, like confuse them and just screw with them, Like, he's not really trying, he's just kind of like messing with them to see how they react and feel them out.
He's very much just messing with them, because, like I said, he's so strong.
Yeah, like, Rin just comes at him and he just, like, wrecks him without really, like, using any special techniques or anything.
Yeah, and then Horo and Chocolove are there, like, watch out, his clone's coming for you or whatever. And he's like, yeah, this is when he points out, it's like, no, Oversouls don't have shadows. and it shows his shadow, and it's like it's actually him just beating on him.
Yeah, there's no special powers. He's just that good.
Yeah, he's not using weapons or anything. He's just like punching and like he's he's so strong.
Yeah, like Rin just goes at him and he just grabs his head, just slams into the pavement, and there's just a massive like blood splatter.
Yeah. And he's like, "Are you gonna?" He's like, "It's like, are you gonna just give up? Like, I will kill you.
I will cave your skull in if I have to." He's
Yeah.
like, "Yo, you got 3 people on your team. Like, if you go, there's 2 other people who can learn that book."
Yeah. And then Ren implies that he's like, "Oh, I've got another trick up my sleeve. I'm gonna hit him. This is gonna be great." And then the episode ends, and I really hope, like, at most, maybe Ren lands a hit.
I don't think he's gonna land a hit.
Like I said, at best for Ren, he lands a hit. But there's no way he wins this fight. If he wins this fight, I will be very disappointed in this show.
Yeah, like, if I remember, it's like, he's specifically like, "I've still, like, got my resolve or whatever," and the guy's like, "Oh, that's cute."
Yeah. It's like the, another Dragon Ball reference, like OG Dragon Ball. Like, there's a point where Goku is in the tournament and Master Roshi enters under an alias, and he's like, "I gotta beat Goku in this tournament to show him that he's still got a lot to learn." And it's like, it's basically that situation.
You just replace him with modern Roshi. He just wrecks Goku even harder.
Oh, he trash him.
Yeah.
Like, Roshi's so strong now.
Whip those children. But yeah, I do like that we get the return of like Rin's theme.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like this whole triumphant theme that plays.
Yeah, oh, it's so good. And he does this cool like spinny thing with the sword that looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like this is a good Rin episode, even though he like fails horribly and gets his ass kicked.
Yeah. He's when he learns that Mikisa is Yo's dad, he's just like, I'm not gonna be taught by an Asakura.
Yeah. I'm gonna beat Yo in my own way with my own power. And he just brings up a spreadsheet and just hands like Rin a piece of paper with like the power levels. And he's just like, his eyes are darting across the graph, and Rin's just like, "Oh god."
I would love for that to be how it resolves, actually.
Yeah.
Like, he just shows him all these power levels, and it's like, this was you like a year ago. This is you now, and like his number hasn't gone up very much. This is Yo a year ago. This is Yo now. It's like it jumps from like 100 to 10,000.
Yeah. And like Rin's looking at his, it just goes from like 350 to like 370.
Yeah. Rin just has a sudden realization. He's like, "Oh god."
He's like, "Oh no, I'm going to be Krillin. I don't want to be Krillin."
Yeah, I don't even get to be the Vegeta in this series right now. I'm Krillin.
Oh man. But yeah,
and that's funny because he's very clearly supposed to be the Vegeta, or from what I've heard, another term in storytelling is the Lancer.
Yeah, like the Lancer, or like the rival, or whatever you want. Like, yeah, like he's a very literal Lancer, honestly.
Yeah, but Lancer in this case means like the secondary, usually like maybe not smarter, but like
sort of
more level-headed.
Yeah, well, line that don't describe her in that well, but still, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, the Lancer takes a lot of different forms. In Shaman King, it's really weird because Yo is like this chill weirdo, which they may have explained actually in this episode, where it's like, yeah, he's half of Hao, and Yo seems to be like lacking certain emotions.
Yeah, so I feel like honestly out by that like Yo's just like lacking emotions, right? Cause like we've seen him get angry and like sad and stuff before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more like, Yo's just like good at keeping his emotions in check, and he's just like, like balls things up a lot.
Maybe. I'm just pointing out what the episode said.
Oh yeah, like absolutely. And meanwhile, like Rin's just a little like psychopathic ball of ego who like can't take anyone else's advice.
Yeah, because how dare somebody imply that they're stronger and know more than him?
Yeah, and like Yo's dad's just like, oh yeah, it's admirable that you like think this highly of yourself and you've done all this stuff, but like that's not gonna get you too far, is it?
Yeah, there's a whole sequence where Yo explains how his dad became so powerful, and it's just like, yeah, my dad returned to nature and like suffered body and soul and mind,
Yeah.
and like climbed the tallest mountain in the world.
Yeah, there's a really good panel in the manga where it's like it's the panel of like Yo's dad just climbing Mount Everest and just standing at the top with all the like ice on him, and he's just got his like his monk robes and his like little staff. And in the bottom right hand corner, it's just like here's all the like equipment that mountain climbers normally take. It's just like, the coat, like big like oxygen tanks, like, like cooking utensils, like little stove top, like tents, all this stuff, like climbing gear, like hooks.
Yeah, I guess for a kid, like if I was a kid reading the manga, they would need that information to get how powerful, like how strong they're saying he is. But it's like, no, I get it.
Yeah, it's a really effective way to show how difficult this crap is. There's also like disclaimer that's like, don't try this at home. It's like, no, actual mountain climbing is super dangerous, guys. Please don't.
So many people have died on Everest.
Oh boy, so many. Man, but yeah, anything else we really want to get into with this episode?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else for this particular one.
Right, there's one more thing I do want to address. It's like I feel like last week or more we were talking about like, oh yeah, like does Yo have like half of Hal's power or something? It's like, what does that mean? Does like Yo have some like land potential or whatever? And it's like, look at this numbers. It's like, nah, probably not. This
Well, it could be that it's just latent, like he hasn't activated, like attained it yet.
yeah. Just like you just look at how it's like, like 1,250,000, and you look at Yo, who's just like, after his big training arc, he's just at like barely 300. And it's like, oh, wow, being related to how did do shit for you, huh?
Yeah, it might be. Like I said, I feel like he probably has the potential to be that strong. He just hasn't gotten that. Oh,
Yeah.
we didn't mention another important thing. I don't remember if I called this last time or what, but those two Patch Tribe dudes are totally working for Hal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's another thing, because they totally mentioned that it's like, I think Silva has, like, quote-unquote, Hal's blood in him, so he probably is way more of a direct descendant.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's as I figured.
Yeah, like, exactly so, seemingly.
Yeah.
But yeah, makes sense. I don't know what this really means, like, mechanically, because it's like, why does Hal need other minions?
Just because, I don't know.
Are like, is this just so they can like go out and bully Silva as like a side story or something? Like, I don't know, it seems very odd.
I don't know, maybe Hal just does it for fun.
Yeah, maybe. Because it's like, I think they have sort of like joined him willingly, and he's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna turn these guys down, whatever. They don't give me info, why not? But I'm trying to figure out, like, from a storytelling perspective, what does this really accomplish, right?
I mean, I guess it could just be that people are like on his side with the ideals. That it's like, oh yeah, normal people, whatever. Shamans all the way.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, shamans are just like, oh yeah, no, Hal's got, like, some good ideas, we should just, like, rule this place.
Yeah, because seemingly, if you're a shaman, like all you need to do is agree with Hal's ideals, and you're okay. He's just like, all right, yep,
Yeah, because, like, what are they gonna do, right?
yeah. Well, it's like if you're a shaman, you're safe. Like he's not out to kill shamans who don't oppose him.
Yeah.
Seemingly.
Seemingly. Except for that, like, time he killed Lily Rara.
She opposed him.
Fair enough. I have to wonder, like, even if she did, like, you know, like, try to tell the group stuff, would that even have made a difference?
I don't know.
Like, did killing her even, like, accomplish anything?
No, Hal probably just did it just because.
Yeah, it seems about right, just because. Just like, yeah, this loose end might come back to bite me at some point in the future. Let's just, like, solve that up, and yep, there we go.
Erased.
Yeah, I guess that'll, like, secure my victory in the next 500 years.